So the intent for today is to bring in some warmth to the area of the low back and the hips. So go ahead and sit with your feet in Baddha Konasana, hands back behind you. And start by just pulsing in the hips, pulsing your knees up and down. Almost like we practiced the other day, if you remember, we did the full body pulsing. As you do this, even just a few seconds, you might notice this sense of like your body wanting to like. So let yourself get to that point where you feel that your breath can extend deeper down into your abdomen. Now inhale, fill up your abdomen, your belly, your side ribs, your upper ribs. And then exhale, walk your hands forward. Relax your upper torso down. Send a deep breath into your low back. Exhale, use your hands to pull your torso forward just an inch, just like you're lengthening your spine away from the low back. And then exhale, further relax your neck. Now in this place, your back ribs and your low back is so open to breath. Send 2 deep breaths there. Reaching your breath down towards your hips. As you reach your breath down into your hips, do you notice that your upper body wants to get reactionary again? Relax your upper body. Press your hands in the ground, bring your torso up. This time, separate your feet just a little bit so that you can start to windshield wiper back and forth. It's the OG WD-40 for the hips. As you practice this move, notice if you can get at least 2 deep breaths down into your hips as you go.
We're supposed to be breathing?
Oh, yeah. But it's different to, I think sometimes when we start moving, sometimes we forget to consciously breathe, right? We're still breathing, but we don't deepen our breath or we don't aim our breath necessarily. So the challenge is to be able to move and stay conscious of your breath, because that will actually travel with you throughout the day. Okay. From there, go ahead and practice rolling your knees over to the left. And then you can rotate your hands forward if you need, but then pick up the right heel. Then lower the right heel back down, rotate to the other side, knees over to the right. And then pick up the left heel. Okay, let's keep going like that. This gets into the internal rotation, which is also super important for just stability of all the muscles that cross through the pelvic floor and the pelvis. So if there's any inhibition in the internal rotation, it's going to be hard to open up the plexus and all that jazz. And notice as you do this once again, if your body has that natural desire to get a deep exhale in or a deep sigh. Okay, up level, if you can up level, is no hands. Okay, and the next up level is to feel for when you lift the foot, can you keep lifting so that the muscles continue to contract? So it's like you're lifting for like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? And then do about 3 more each side. Okay, finish up on this last round. And then watch me for a second. Come back to center and watch. From here, we integrate this also with activating glute fibers. So in order to do that, when you roll onto one side, and you can start with hands on the floor if you need, you roll onto one side, then you actually sit up. Okay, so that motion activates the glute muscles, and also it starts to get opening through the hips. Okay, and then you sit back down, roll to the other side, press up. Okay, so let's give this a shot. Okay, so roll onto one side, press up, contract the glute muscles. Feel as you contract the glutes how that helps open the hip flexors, and then come back down, go to the other side. Let's go for 4 on each side in total. So one thing is to lift the hips up. Then other thing is to actually lengthen the tailbone down, feeling your glutes contract, feeling your hip flexors open. There's a huge relationship too between the ability of the glutes to contract and the ability of the hip flexors to open. Because while we could stretch out the front side of the body more and more and more, if the back side of the body is not ready to take that weight, to take that support role, the front always has to kick in. Okay, I don't even remember how many we said we should do each side, but how are your hips feeling? A little more buttery, a little more warm? Okay, yeah. Grab your block. Let's do some abs, but for the hippies. Okay, so you can watch my feet for just a second. So here, once we're on our backs, okay, imagine I'm actually laying on the back. This is just to give you a demo of my legs. We'll inhale, hold the breath, and then exhale, you externally rotate one leg. The other leg stays straight. And you inhale, bring it back, hold the breath, squeeze into the block just a little bit to activate the inner legs, and then you exhale, externally or internally rotate, sorry, the other leg. Okay, we'll start there on our back. So let's go. Okay, so grab your block, place it right in between the knees or right beneath the knees. Either is good. Okay, but for this particular exercise, I do prefer it like actually on the knees. Okay, activate your feet, spread your toes. Arms relax down for this variation. Okay, inhale, expand your ribs and expand down into your abdomen. Hold your breath, press into the block just enough to activate the inner legs. And then exhale, still squeezing the block, rotate your left ankle towards the left, getting that internal rotation. It can even help to pull your right knee forwards towards your chest or your armpit about 1 inch, just to make sure it's staying parallel. And then inhale, bringing the left ankle back in line with the right. Hold your breath, squeeze into the block. Exhale, internally rotate right thigh, sending the right heel towards the right. And draw the left knee towards your chest just 1 inch. Inhale, bring both feet and both shins back to parallel. Hold your breath, squeeze into the block. Exhale, internally rotate left thigh, sending left ankle to the left. Squeeze the right knee towards your chest 1 or 2 inches while still squeezing into the block. Inhale and come back to the start position. Hold your breath, press the low back and mid back into the floor, squeeze into the block. Exhale, internally rotate right thigh, so the right ankle goes out to the left, to the right. And left knee hugs closer. Inhale, come back to the center. Do 2 more on each side. The hugging the knee that's not internally rotating in helps contract the glutes on that side. Sorry, not glutes. Where is my head today? I still have sick brain a little bit. It helps contract the abs on that side, and it keeps stability in the pelvis while there's also internal rotation. Make sure you get one more good one in on each side. Okay, from there, you can go ahead and lower the block down, lower your feet down, and watch me for just a second. Okay, so from here, I've heard this called like skier abs. Okay, the whole idea is arms will be reaching up, palms are facing one another. The block is still in between the knees. And here, what's happening is a contraction of the oblique muscles. Okay, so as you're actually contracting the obliques, you do that by rotating both feet towards the left. That contracts the left obliques. Okay, and then you come back to center, hold the breath, and you exhale over to the other side. Okay, during this whole time, you're also squeezing into the block. And so you're still getting that internal rotation connecting with the abdominal activation, okay? Okay, let's do this. Grab your block, place it in between the knees. Reach your arms up, have your palms facing one another. Inhale, expand your breath down into low back. Exhale, roll the hips so that your feet move towards the left, knees point towards the right. Squeeze into the block. Feel the left side of the abs contract. Inhale, come back to center, slow and controlled. Exhale, squeeze into the block, and then roll the feet over to the right, feeling the right hip contracting towards the right side of ribs. Pull your abs down. Inhale, roll back through the center. Exhale, active feet roll towards the left. Toes are spreading, thighs are hugging towards the block. Pull the left side of ribs down. Inhale, roll back to the center. Exhale, roll feet over to the right. Keep reaching up with your fingertips. Relax your throat. Do 2 more on each side. Continue to squeeze into the block. And feel for getting a deep breath each time down into your hips. And then using your ab muscles to pull in at the end of your exhale. Okay, go ahead and lower feet on down. Keep the block where it is for a quick bridge with the block. So from there, just lift your hips up. Try and get your hips high enough so that you can start to just feel an opening in the hip flexors or in your abs. Here, you don't necessarily have to squeeze the block, but it's there just to keep alignment. Do, however, feel for contracting the glutes and how that gives more space for your hip flexors to open. Feel for placing a little more weight into your heels. Let's do 3 pendulums here. So when you inhale, lower your hips down only a few inches. So like maybe a third of the way. And then exhale, curl your pubic bone towards your navel, and then lengthen the hips up, the hip crests up. Inhale, lower down a third of the way. Exhale, lengthen your tailbone like you're lengthening the flat of the low back, and then lift the hips and thighs up. Go for 2 more. Almost like you're creating a wave or some fluidity in your sacrum. Good. Lower your hips all the way down slowly, curling your mid back and then your lower back down. Okay, once you're here, keep the block where it is still. Bring your attention down to your sacrum or the base of your spine, your tailbone. And from there, this motion is very subtle, but you're essentially imagining that on the floor, underneath your sacrum, you have like a pen or, I don't know, paint, and you're drawing a figure 8. So it's like with your hips, with your sacrum, you're drawing a figure 8, rolling down towards the left, and then up towards the left, back to the center, and then down the right, and then up the right, and then back to center. So practice drawing a figure 8. This is just to get those same muscles activated in the core and help integrate it with everything that's going in the low back. You can go at whatever rhythm or pace feels correct. Okay, then come to total stillness for a second. Send 2 deep feeling breaths into your low back. Okay. From here, let's do a few rounds of abs with a block. For this, you can either keep the block as it is in between the knees, or you can bring it a little down closer to the thighs. Okay, feet can stay on the floor, or you can lift feet up, or you can straighten feet up towards the ceiling. Depends on how your back is doing today. Okay, from there, hands behind the back of the head. Big inhale down into the abdomen. Hold your breath, press the low back down, curl tailbone up, and squeeze the block. Exhale, curl head and shoulders up, reaching your elbows and armpits up towards the ceiling. Squeeze the block. Inhale, lower the head back down to the floor. Hold your breath, curl your tailbone up, squeeze the block. Exhale, reach elbows, triceps, armpits up, full belly muscles down, give the block another squeeze. Inhale, lower head and shoulders down. Hold your breath, press mid and low back into the floor. Curl tailbone up, squeeze the block. Exhale, curl head and shoulders up. This time, feel for contracting your glute muscles. Inhale, lower head and shoulders down. Hold your breath. Press the low and mid back into the floor. Curl tailbone up. Squeeze the block. Exhale, curl head and shoulders up, and then continue by squeezing the glute muscles, contracting the glutes towards the sit bones. Inhale, lower head and shoulders down. Hold your breath. Press low back down. Press mid ribs down. Curl tailbone, squeeze the block. Exhale, curl head and shoulders up off the mat. Contract the glute muscles. Feel your abs lighting up in a different way. Keep reaching elbows up. Inhale, lower head and shoulders down. Exhale, feet down. Give me a thumbs up if you could feel that one. Yeah. Okay. From here, let's come into, you can use the block if you need to, only if you need to though. Okay, for one-legged bridge, ankle over thigh. So cross your left ankle over the right thigh, and then press through the right foot to lift the hips up. Do this such that you get a contraction in the right glutes, and you can feel for reaching the left knee down towards the floor, opening in the left hip. To change sides, stay up, bring the left foot to the floor, press through the left foot to pick up the right foot, cross right foot over left thigh. And continue to press through left foot to activate left glute while you reach the right knee towards the floor, opening the hip. Okay, to come out of the pose, press through left foot, bring the right foot back to the floor, press your hips up into a high bridge just to feel how much looser your back maybe feels by this point in the practice. And then slowly curl the upper back down, curl the mid back down. Keep pointing your tailbone like it's curling up towards the ceiling, and then lower the low back down. Finally, the sacrum unfurls into the floor. Okay. Are you up for one more ab? Give me a thumbs up if you're up for one more ab. If you feel like that would feel good for you. Yeah? Okay. Let's do twisted root abs. Okay. For twisted root, go ahead and cross the left thigh over the right thigh. The left knee over right. Okay. You have the option to stay here or, with feet on the floor at this level, or you can pick the feet up. That's phase 2. And phase 3 is then you also get another wrap. So you wrap the left. Oh gosh, I don't even know what that is. I guess that's my left foot underneath the right. Okay. Hands behind the back of the head, cat on your chest. Inhale. Expand your ribs. Hold your breath, squeeze your thighs together. And then exhale, curl head and shoulders up. Keep squeezing thighs together and reach your kneecaps up towards the ceiling, like you're reaching your shins parallel to the floor upwards. Inhale, lower head and shoulders back down. Keep your legs in this position. Hold your breath, squeeze thighs together. Exhale, continue to squeeze thighs together, curl tailbone up, and reach head and shoulders up. If you want to up levels, contract your glute muscles. Inhale, head and shoulders down to the floor. Hold your breath, curl tailbone up, flatten your back onto the floor. Exhale, squeeze the thighs together, squeeze one knee towards the other, reach the kneecaps up, reach elbows and shoulders up. And if you want an up level, contract your glute muscles. Inhale, lower head and shoulders down. Keep your feet in the same position for phase 2. Place left hand on top of the left thigh, right hand pancakes on top of the left. Here, we're going to press into the thighs, okay, with head and shoulders on the floor. So inhale, expand your ribs. Oh, kitty cat. Hold your breath. Press the low back into the floor, curl tailbone, and then exhale. Press the hands towards the thigh, press thighs towards the hands while you're pulling belly muscles down. Inhale, relax the press. Balloon your belly open. Hold your breath. Press mid back, low back down, curl tailbone up, and exhale. Press hands towards thigh, thigh towards hand. Reach the thigh bones up away from your hip sockets. Good. Go ahead and lower the feet down and uncross the thighs. That one's a good one, huh? I love those abs, actually. And whenever we do it, we practice it, we always do 3 in the first phase and 2 in the second phase. So go ahead and cross the right thigh over the left. You have the option to stay here. So you can leave your feet on the floor always for this, or you can pick up the feet. And you also have the option to cross also under the ankles or shins. Clasp your hands behind the back of the head. This time, change the clasp of your hands so it feels like it's the funky way, or at least a different way than it was a second ago. So you get some new neurological connections going. Head stays on the floor. Take a big inhale into your belly. Hold your breath. Tilt your sacrum up so that you can feel your low back flattening. Squeeze your thighs together. Exhale, reach elbows, shoulder blades, and head up. Pull belly muscles down. Squeeze thighs towards one another. Inhale, lower head and shoulders back to the floor. Hold your breath. Tilt the sacrum up. Feel your back pressing into the floor. Exhale, head and shoulders up. Squeeze thighs together. If you want to up level, squeeze your glute muscles and keep reaching your kneecaps up. Pull the belly muscles down. Inhale, lower head and shoulders back down. Hold your breath. Press the low back down. Curl the tailbone up. Squeeze thighs. Exhale, continue to squeeze thighs towards one another while reaching hips down towards the floor, reaching femur bones up, shoulders and elbows up. Contract your glute muscles. Good. Inhale, lower head and shoulders down. Keep your legs here. Place right hand onto right thigh. Place left hand over the right. Inhale, expand your breath down into your abs. Hold your breath, curl the tailbone up. Exhale, press the hands into the thighs, thigh into the hands like you're creating resistance and you're using your low abs to hug your right thigh towards your chest. Inhale, fully relax in the hips. Exhale, curl tailbone up. Squeeze the right thigh towards the hands, left thigh towards the right thigh. Reach the kneecaps up while reaching the shins parallel to the floor, upwards towards the ceiling. Whoop. Okay, relax your hands down. Undo the cross of your legs. And here, walk your feet forwards a little bit to, once again, windshield wiper. And you don't have to come all the way down to the floor with your knees. You can find an angle where it really just feels optimum to bring more movement into your sacrum and to loosen up your hip flexors a little bit now that they are loosening, getting warm. When you make this motion rhythmic and pulsing, it is so much more deeply grounding for your nervous system than any other type of motion can be. Because it becomes predictable, it becomes rhythmic. You can sync up with it. Okay, roll onto one side. Okay, let's come into down dog just to stretch out the backside of the body for a second, and then we step into lounge lunge. A down dog should actually feel pretty darn good at this point. Especially since we've had our knees bent for so many poses. Now straightening out the legs, straightening the back of the knees should feel good. Feel free to pedal your feet. Okay, step the left foot forward between your hands. Lounge lunge. Lower the right knee down. Place the top of the right foot on the floor and then slide the right foot back. From here, your left armpit should be really close to your left knee or left thigh. From there, the right hand is right underneath the right shoulder, and then slide it forwards about 1.5 hands length. And then maybe move it to the side about 1 hand's distance. Okay, start to lean your weight into that hand and lean the weight of your hips, and especially the right hip, forwards. That should start to get a really juicy opening here for your hip flexor. Okay, as well, wrap your left fingertips around the left shin, and then start to twist your torso so that your sternum reaches towards your left shin or left knee, while you're hugging your left thigh towards your chest. If you want an up level to this stretch, contract your right glute. It can be a soft contraction, but you'll feel how that opens up the hip flexors more. Find a way to be in this pose that feels delightful for your hips, that feels filled with pleasure, that feels not like a struggle, but like a gift to you this morning. Bring your hips back to center. Pigeon. Walk the outer edge of left thigh down. Lower the hips down. If this feels too early for a full pigeon, you can always bend the back knee. Okay, if you do feel ready, straighten the back leg, and you have the option to keep your chest up or to walk the torso forwards. Once again, to the angle that feels like a gift. Doesn't have to feel like an intense stretch. Pain is not gain. Pain misses the point. Continue to reach deep breaths into your low back. Feel for both feet actively searching to support you by pressing the floor away in different ways, by reaching in different directions, so that your hips can actually feel their optimal angle. Good. Press the floor away with your hands. Bring your torso up. Slide the left ankle a little closer towards your hips, and then press into downward facing dog. Pedal out your dog if that feels good. Sway your hips back and forth like you're creating a figure 8 if that feels good. Your knees might bend there a little bit too. Lounge lunge. Step right foot forwards between the hands. Lower left knee down. Bring the top of the left foot to the floor and then slide the left foot back. From the left hand underneath shoulder, move it forwards about 1.5 foot, and then to the left about 6 to 8 inches. Right hand wraps around the front of the right shin, close to the knee, and you hug the thigh in. It's not opening to the side, hugging in towards the ribs. From there, start to rotate your hips, left side of hips down towards the floor, your chest towards the right shin or towards right knee. It's okay if your left shoulder hikes up towards your ear here in this pose. And then you can either rest your head towards the left shoulder or chin onto the knee. Option to contract your left glute muscles, even just a little. Reach deep breaths, feeling breaths into your hips where you feel sensation. Exhale, spread the toes of the left foot and reach back with the ball of the left foot. Inhale, lengthen one more deep breath into your abdomen. Exhale as you continue to reach back through the ball of the left foot. Press the ball of the right foot into the floor and feel for rotating your chest a little more to the right. Now relax in your hip flexor. Pigeon. Rotate your chest back to center slowly. Walk the right foot over towards the left, and then lower the outer edge of right thigh. Once again, if you need to bend the back knee, bend the back knee. Do what you need. And then only walk your chest forwards to the point that it still feels good in your hip. So if you get so low, or if you get so collapsed that you start to feel a pinching somewhere, change. Make a change. When your body communicates to you that something isn't quite right, listen. Make an adjustment. And if you feel like you're in a good place, then soak it up. Expand your capacity to feel good in a pose or in a certain place in your life. And you'll notice too, if you actually reach back through the back foot, and you maybe even move the left foot a little bit to the right, and then reach it back, you can actually also get a pretty yummy stretch through your hip flexors in pigeon. Especially if it's like you're moving the weight of your torso and your body forwards. Okay, go ahead and press your hands on the floor. Slowly come up. And here, this is a fun motion. Well, everybody's done something different. I was gonna say you can whip your legs forwards and then wait. You can try it next time, it's fun. Once you're now established in Shavasana, feel for lengthening your feet forwards as a way to keep your hips open. And in fact, today, let's practice some contracting and letting go. So from here, start to contract your toes like you're balling up fists with your feet. Like you're contracting and tensing every muscle in your foot. Take a big inhale. And then exhale, let go of all the contraction and tensing in your feet. Let's move that a little higher up. Start contracting your toes, your feet. Flex your ankles. Start contracting your calf muscles. Contract around your knees, lifting kneecaps. Contract your thighs, contract your glute muscles. Have your legs rock solid. And take a big inhale, feeling this strength building up. And exhale, let it go. Smooth the tension away. At this point, commit to three things. Commit to there being minimal movement in your skeleton. Commit to softening your facial muscles and your facial expressions as much as is humanly possible. Third, commit to relaxing your jaw to the point that your lips may even separate, and you only breathe in and out, expanding your belly button up and down with minimal movement in your skeleton. The breath can be through your nose or your mouth, but let it be natural. You notice your mind gets distracted. Recognize if you're still actually fully committed to step one, relaxing your skeleton. Step two, relaxing any expressions in your face. And step three, deep breathing into your belly button. Use these steps as anchors for your mind. So you continue to refine and control and create a new relationship with your mind where you don't have to run on autopilot. Take 2 deep breaths to bring your awareness into your whole body. Start to move first the extremities, slowly start to move bigger joints closer to your core. Bend your knees, feet on the floor. Roll onto one side. Slowly sit up. And I did not do the proper sit up, but I wanted to show you this really cute picture. My cat is like sitting right behind my laptop. Let me see if I get another picture. This is so cute. Oh my gosh, this is the best picture. Can you see this?